Okay guys, here we are on July 7th, 2021. Here is the arrival of our new SSL Origin Console being delivered here by BTX Global Logistics. First time I've ever dealt with this company, and I will say their customer service, drivers and everyone's been very nice, very helpful. Seems like a really good group of people. A few phone calls I've had with them as this thing was being delivered. So this shipped from England, from SSL's headquarters about a week ago. And here we are, July 7th. In about 6 business days, this thing showed up to the United States in Connecticut. So we're just waiting for, I guess, the second guy that's coming that's going to help guide this truck, this box truck, up my driveway, which has a pretty steep incline. And they have a pallet jack. Hopefully it's going to come right off, no problem. And then we're going to put it temporarily right in my garage here. We're going to put that crate there, and then tomorrow morning I have a few buddies coming over and we're going to uncrate it, move it around the back of the house to the studio, which is going to go around this way, and I'll film all of this. We're going to go right around the back of the house and we're going to bring it inside, and we're going to do that. Holy crap, is that the size of this thing? Holy, that's gonna be big. Oh man, look at the size of that thing. Wow. Yeah, when they said it was big, they weren't kidding. So it looks like they're just gonna do it right in the street, and then we're gonna push it up with a pallet jack, I think. And maybe they don't want to bring the truck onto the driveway. Looks like you just have like a hand truck. Yeah, a hand pallet jack, not a powered one. Which should be fine. We could probably, the 3 of us could push that. You know what? Let's set this down here. It's not gonna work. I'm going to be able to do that. Let's hope they don't drop it. I'm sure they won't drop it. Okay, let me see if I can get my wife to hold this camera here. All right, so we're all set. So we got it. Guy took off, dropped off the paperwork, signed for it. Everything looks good. Again, here it is. It's a man. Well, the console itself is only 72 inches wide, so obviously there's a lot of extra packaging around here, but there it is. According to the bill here, to the packing slip, it's 600 pounds, this crate. I think the console itself weighs about I think they said about 250, and then the stand, which is separate, is another 100, so it's like maybe 350 pounds, 300 pounds, something like that. So we'll see when we open it, but I'm definitely going to save this crate. It looks like it's all just nailed together, which is good. So I should be able to easily take this thing apart, save it, and store it, because if I ever have to ship this thing, I definitely want to be able to do that. So we have the SSL. The Eagle has landed. Now it's just a matter of uncrating it and getting people here to move it around to the studio. Okay, after about 30 minutes of working on this top, there's so many nails in this thing, which is great. And the top, I want to try to save the integrity of this crate, because again, if I ever have to move this thing or ship it to another location, to a new home or whatever, to make a crate like this wouldn't be easy to do, and it wouldn't be cheap to have it made. So I wanted to try to save it. Now it looks like on the top, I mean, the plywood that they're using is so thin. And with all the nails in here, even with the crowbar, it just splits. As much as I really tried to save the top, I don't think the top is going to be salvageable, which is fine. As long as I can take apart the 4 sides and save that in the bottom, the top isn't so bad. But we're not ready for the big reveal quite yet. I don't have the whole top off, but if I pull up some of it, you can see, there she is. She's inside of there. You can see the wood split. So I still gotta get the nails out of that side, and then this is in 2 halves, and then split it open, and then from there the console will be in the center, and then somehow I'll try to figure out how to take off the nails out of a corner and kind of fold this down. That's probably how we're going to do it. And if it gets totally destroyed, it gets totally destroyed, but I'm trying not to destroy it. Plus too, I want to be careful because although I'm sure they packed the console really well, I don't want stuff falling inside from the top and smashing anything. So anyway, we're about 30 minutes into trying to uncrate this. Hopefully I'll be back shortly, where at least you can take a look and look at it first with me in the big reveal. Okay, I managed to get one of the sides open like a tin can. I just able to just kind of fold it back, and here it is. Here's the first look. You guys are seeing it for the first time as me. So you can see that here's the console. Oops, packed up. It's in this kind of heavy padded Mylar or something or another. They got beams that go across the top here to support the top. It looks like the legs, or at least one of the legs, is over here. So there it is. So there's our first look at our Origin. You can see it right down there. Origin 1040. I don't know if that's mine. And it says over here, do not open with a knife. So it's saying do not open with a knife, this Mylar cover. So I'm not sure how we're going to do that. Maybe with a pair of scissors or something. We'll have to be very, very careful. We don't want to damage a brand new console. So now I just have to get this side off without damaging my wife's car. And then that might be it for today for me until the crew comes tomorrow to try to take the sides off, and probably want to do that with more than one person. I just don't want to damage this by myself, and I don't want to commission my wife to help me because she doesn't want to help me and I don't blame her. So anyway, once I get the other side open, I'll come back and show you with the full top off. Okay, top is off. Here we go. Here's the console. Origin 0140, do not open with a knife. There it is. So there's a lot of, obviously, the crate looks much bigger than it is. There's a lot of room here. The legs are in here. Okay, so the console goes from about here. You'll see the edge of the packaging all the way to almost the ends. They put some foam down there, which is great. In the front of it, you can see here, there's a lot of space in the front and the back. So this console is 72 inches from front, if we were looking at the front, okay? Depth-wise, from the meter bridge to the armrest is 43. In height, I believe it's 30 down at its lowest point, or 31, like desk height, and then it rises up a little bit to about 42. It's like a 10-inch. So when we move this into the studio, it's gonna have to be, it's like this, it's gotta be flipped. We're gonna have to carry it in, flipped on its side and through the door. It's how it's gonna have to happen. But there it is. So what I'm gonna do now is all like little dust and, wood shavings from me taking off the top. I'm probably going to, I have a cordless vacuum shop vac. It's gonna vacuum all that up because I don't want any of that getting into the console. We're gonna leave this on, I'm sure, to move it in this protective covering because I was gonna wrap it in moving blankets and bubble wrap and stuff, but now that I see that that is on it, that is probably exactly how we're gonna carry it in. And we got 4 guys, myself and 3 other friends will be here tomorrow morning to help me get this out of the crate and to move it. So what I'll probably do today is I'll take down, I can take down the sides. And if I can save the sides of the box and the bottom for future, you know, and again, if it gets destroyed. Now the top seemed like it got kind of destroyed, but the top is kind of really thin plywood compared to the sides, it looks like. So there were a couple areas where I just couldn't help it because there's so many nails in it, but the integrity of the two tops is still here. This is still usable. I mean, it may need to have a patch thrown on the top, but certainly that can be reused. So if I could take it all apart and store it in sections in the back of my garage or out my shed or whatever, then I'll have it if we ever need to ship it anywhere, as opposed to trying to build a new one. And what I'll do is I'm gonna take a bunch of pictures of this before I destroy it all, so we can see how it's in the crate, how everything is packaged. So for the future, again, I hope to never sell it, but you never know. Or not even sell it. You know, if we move one day to another location, we could probably just move it as is, but I'm gonna take some photos of this just so I know historically how it showed up here, so we know how to put it back if we need to. So that is it. So I guess the next part of this video you'll see is when we're actually moving it, is my guess. Okay, about 90 minutes later. Man, the one day that it's 95 degrees outside and humid is all heck. Anyway, I got the front of the crate off. So that's the back of the console where all the inputs are for all the, you know, all the I/O is on this side. And so trying to salvage this the best I can, but they put so many nails into this thing, it was nearly impossible to do without completely damaging it, but I did pretty good. I mean, some of the corners are a little damaged, you know, but this is usable stuff. So, you know, I may have to, you know, patch the crate up a little bit if we ever needed to rebox it, but for the most part, it's good. And so now I'm probably looking to at least get the legs out. If I can get that side off, and then actually I could take that side and fold it down, and then this will give us a way to get around the console tomorrow when we move it in this big Mylar bag that it's in. But I gotta say, they did a hell of a job creating this thing up and packaging it. I'd be surprised if anything was damaged. Threw a couple of moving blankets in there to make sure I didn't drop a hammer or something in there on top of it while I was working. So anyway, there it is. Sorry about the shaky camera. Just doing it with the phone here. But there it is. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay, so we're done uncrating. About 2 hours it took me to uncrate this whole thing, but now it is ready to be moved. So I took a break, came back to film this final little video before we actually see it being moved tomorrow. I was able to manage, I was able to keep the crate. I was able to save it, which is great. I was a little nervous about some of the pieces. There's a lot of nails I got to pull out, but they put just a ton of nails in this thing. It was hard to not destroy this thing into a million pieces, but we got it. We got it out. We got most of it saved, enough to repackage this thing if it ever needed to be. And again, they packed it in this really wonderful, what looks to be, yeah, completely vacuum sealed. Yeah, it feels like it's padded on the inside. That's really brilliant. That's really smart, because I had bought a bunch of bubble wrap that I was going to wrap this thing in. I thought it would just come with some kind of a light covering. I had no idea it was going to come like that. That's really great. Good job by Solid State Logic. So there it is. And I brought the legs down into the studio already. So my guess is the legs are about 25 pounds each and maybe 50 pounds total. So this thing probably weighs a couple of 100 pounds, maybe 250 at most. So 4 guys picking this thing up tomorrow shouldn't be too bad. 2 on each side. Shouldn't be bad at all. Again, that's right side up. So the way it's gonna go through the door, because it's gonna be too wide for the doorway, that's like 43 inches. It's gonna have to flip up on its side where the bottom, and this will go up in the air, and we're gonna have to carry it like that. And we're gonna have to go down probably a 6-step flight of stairs, a short little stairway that's made out of concrete. So I'm glad that this thing is padded. But you know, I don't know, we're gonna have to see. What I really worry about is not so much picking it up. the guy going backwards down the stairs, or the two guys that are going backwards down the stairs, it's only 6 steps, it won't be bad. It's the guys at the top of the stairs where this is gonna be leaning over and you're gonna be leaning forward on your back, which is not good for me, and not dropping this thing on the stairs. So I'm glad that it's padded. I'll also probably I do have some nice padded moving blankets that I can also probably duct tape, wrap around the corners and duct tape that. So this is super padding in case we have to set it down on the steps 1 step at a time. The staircase is not very steep, which is great. So we're just gonna have to see. I mean, I can't imagine we couldn't get this through the doorway. If we flip it up, like I said, it will go straight through the door, and then it's a clear shot right into the studio. And then we flip it on its side, bolt the legs on the bottom, and flip it straight up. And it says not to cut that open with a knife because it's got padding or something. I think there's a bunch of tape back here that you kind of slip it off. But this is something I want to save as well. Again, even if I were to move this thing in the future, just putting it back in this, padded bag is really a great thing. And then you wrap that with moving blankets and strap it in a truck and you should be fine. Or, just keep the bottom section, really. I guess you could even just keep the bottom piece and then take ratchet ties or straps and strap it down and then just move it just like that, flat into a back of a box truck. But anyway, there it is. So that's the SSL Origin. The next part of the video will be hopefully of us actually moving it downstairs and getting the legs bolted on. And then we will set it up and we will let the journey, let the fun begin. So there it is, one more time. Here's all the rest of the crate. I'll pull the nails out later tomorrow or something and store all this wood. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. So please like, subscribe, share to Mixing Music Analog, our YouTube channel. Help support the cause here. Regardless if you're watching this video in the future, and there's already a ton of videos on the YouTube channel, please subscribe if you're seeing this early on in our history. It would be really, really cool of you. So I appreciate it. We're gonna have a lot of fun, guys. We'll see you soon. Okay guys, so you saw it be brought into the room. It is in, damage free. Man, I gotta say thank you to my nephew Silas and my brother-in-law Ben, my good buddy and longtime friend Joe, and one of his guys that work for him, Marco. Thank you so much for helping. But here it is, guys. This thing was heavy. I mean, getting it down those stairs, as you'll see in the video, was something else. But I'll tell you what, we didn't damage it at all, and I was a little nervous because we had to lay it down on the back here. This is where all the power supplies are, but there's not a scratch on it. Thank God. We bolted the feet on there, as you saw. Here it is. Here's all the connections. So thankfully, nothing got damaged. The side trim pieces are good. I will say Solid State Logic did a wonderful job in packing this. And so I know someone there will see this video at one point. So I will say thank you from me to your team that do this stuff and who packed this, because I'll tell you what, this whole thing was wrapped in bubble wrap, padding. You saw in probably the last video the clear plastic bag, or the Mylar bag. We actually took that off before we moved it, so we saw what we were holding on to. But this thing was packaged beautifully. I can't say enough about how this thing was really packaged. And it looks big. I mean, it's you know, it's funny because you look at it when I was measuring it out. It's really the same length as this desk, but you look at it and it just looks so much bigger, right? I mean, it always looks like it's bigger than it really is, but I mean, not much bigger. So right now it is away from the wall because we're going to have my good buddy Dave coming up from New York on Saturday in a couple of days to help me wire everything up. Tonight I'm probably just going to, you know, maybe kind of temporarily lay out where I think things are going to go. I put we put these little furniture sliders down on the leg so I can easily move this myself. So I'll kind of put this into position, lower the monitor, the display, and we'll see. But here it is. So it is a 32 channel inline console. Hope the glare isn't too bad. The iPhone's putting my light on, and we'll get better video of this. Oh, you know, obviously. This is just all done with the iPhone, so I apologize up front for the quality of the video. But yeah, there it is. 32 channels. The Solid State Logic Origin. So I will plug it in and turn it on and make sure that it works. And we'll put that on video as well. But yeah, unlike the old consoles that had machine rooms and big racks of computers, everything is contained here. The power supply and everything is contained. Oh, we did get a little tiny nick on the corner of this power supply, or the heat sink, just a little tiny nick. Oh, there you go. After all of that, if that's all that happened, trust me, that's nothing compared to what this thing weighs. Here's some cable management tray, I guess. And then again, all the inputs, all the D-subs, all the mic pre-inputs, everything. So yeah, so this is all self-contained. And so there's no machine rooms, no power supplies. It's one power cable that runs out somewhere in the center to the wall, and that's it. So great job, guys. Thank you so much for helping. I really do appreciate this. There's no way in the world I would have done this without those guys. No way. That would have just sat in the garage. But there it is. So the next set of videos you'll probably see, or maybe towards the end of this video, I'll show you powering it on. And then after that, it'll be starting to wire it up and hook it up. So we will see you guys shortly.